state government, by contract, today supposing the Selangor government sign say, I'm a bit tired. Dr. Munjibah says, I'm tired, I'm working so hard, my exco is very tired. Why don't we privatize the whole state government? Let's sign a bill here to this corporation to carry out all powers of state government, just pay the money into the account here. Can they do that? Everybody signs it, chops it, and all this kind of story. And then when the next government, either the new government or the different government, so sorry, you're bound by this concession, give you 25 years concession to operate the state of Selangor. Is it a valid agreement? Now, the same argument is to be used for water concessions. Under the Contracts Act, you cannot sign a contract against public interest. So if a state mortgages its own land and its water supply, such a contract will be constituted as a contract void against public policy, and you can just treat the contract as, sorry, too bad, you sign some rubbish, that's it. You don't give credence to this contract. You take a position, it is void against public policy, against public interest. Now, if you feel the contract is so one-sided that no reasonable government would enter into such a contract, challenge the basis of the contract. So that's something which you look at. The second thing you might want to look at is this concept of restrictive procedures. It's something in constitutional law, which means that, basically, to use an analogy, God cannot commit suicide. That means a person who's vested with constitutional power cannot take away the constitutional power and give it to somebody else. And therefore, any piece of legislation which belongs to state, under the state list, and the state says, sorry, I've given it all, so I need the consent of the federal government, you challenge on the grounds that the state government cannot, by any such legislation, bind its constitutional power. It must have a way out. It must be able to get out of the deal. It must be able to repeal the legislation. In fact, Section 76(3), which talks about this, does give the state government the power to actually repeal legislation which it feels that entered into, which is not proper. But of course, this is being often overridden by 76(4) when they say it's for uniformity. So the stage now is obviously not to allow erosion of constitutional rights anymore. If you feel there's an infringement of constitutional rights, take up that case. I don't say you're going to get success in the court, but you have to take up that point and make your position known from an early stage. And that's the only thing that can sort of save the situation. In cases of local government, we are trying to repair your drains now in 3 days. We are trying to move to a situation where it is possible to do so. Now, this is the biggest obstacle which not many people know. The Financial Procedures Act, which is passed by the federal government, and the Arahan Perbendahara are causing handcuffing of the local authority. I'm not saying it's a bad law, but maybe its implementation is terrible. Now, what that makes is a whole bureaucratic procedure to get a small job done. And if you look at the Financial Procedures Act very carefully, Section 4, the federal government is supposed to pass laws for the good management of the money, not to inject policy as to what are you supposed to do, who are you supposed to appoint, and the state government has full power to come up with its own set of financial procedures if it feels it's not serving this particular purpose, and implement those procedures without having to rely back on this. Because it's very cumbersome. 3 months to go, and by the time if tenders are called, it's 3-4 months, the whole damage is done, and we are constantly inhibited by these, and more action is going to be taken on those aspects in terms of administration, policy, and finance as far as the law allows. If you are of the position that the Financial Procedures Act it only allows A, and the regulations go beyond that, you can take the position that that's not binding on me, and we'll set up our own set to make things move a little bit more smoothly so that you can get your garbage collected on time, you can get your rubbish collected. And finally, privatization, or privatization as I often talk about. Many of the functions which yield revenue of local government is taken out. In its place, it's given to private sector. In its place, all the obligations are not passed on. That is the responsibility of the public. I mean, the classic is the water enactment, which is nothing but a piece of joke of legislation. Simply because if you don't pay a water bill, they can cut the water supply. But if they put poison in the water, there's no remedy in the act itself to protect the consumer. So this is the kind of one-sided legislation, and we have it in solid waste management, so on and so forth, that is destroying local government and making it very, very difficult for us to